Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the season finale for the Full Send Super Speedway Series right here on the Racers Elite Network. I am Mike Taylor up here in the booth alongside my good buddy, the master of chaos himself, Dakota LaRue. Tonight, we are in for an absolute treat as these Super Speedway Warriors get ready to round out the season here. But before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look here at your top 12 in points. These are the guys running for the championship, and right now, Kensley Smith, he is on top of that leaderboard with 2142 points, but just a few short points back behind him is going to be Andrew Teft. Andrew Teft and Chicken Coop Racing, they are looking to pretty much sweep this week and win championships for that organization across all four series. So these drivers are absolutely going to be giving it everything they've got today. But right behind them as well, you do have Terry Fennell, Orion Warp, Steve Vest, your top five. It will be a little harder for those three drivers behind them to get through to the championship. But I mean, hey, Kesley Smith, Andrew Teff could have a very bad day, and maybe one of them could possibly retake or the championship if they can happen to win here at Daytona. And Kensley Smith and Andrew Teff both will fall down in the points. So, but before we get to all that, we got to finish up qualifying here. And I believe we have our final cars done qualifying at the moment. Dakota, we have been here all season long. And what are you anticipating out of these drivers here tonight?
I'm anticipating a dogfight. And we got a little bit of a higher track than I would say we normally run. So I'm anticipating a little bit of looseness with the pushes here and potentially some aggressive pushes a little sooner than we typically see, as you know, it is championship night.
Yeah, definitely the weather outside is 86 degrees, so it is hot here in Daytona Beach, Florida, but your track temperature is a whopping 119. So I believe the outside lane may be able to hold some ground while those inside drivers may be having a little bit of issues trying to keep their cars straight on the track. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's go through your starting lineup for the final time this season. Starting on the pole, you've got Terry Fennell, Ryan Warp on your front row. Row number 2, Kevin Haas and Aaron Rowland. Row number 3, Kirby Wainscott, Joshua Neal will make up row number 3. Row number 4, Michael Barksdale. Whoops. Okay, my starting grid started all over, so let me give it a second here so it can do what it needs to do here as we have our cars rolling out onto the speedway. And let's go ahead and crank up that starting grid here once again. I mean, luckily we didn't get too far here, but we are getting ready to go green flag racing here at Daytona, so it's going to be a lot of absolute fun here. And boy, is my iRacing quiet as heck. Let's go ahead and get that noise cranked up, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, row number 5, Steve Vest, Jonathan Stidham. Row number 6, you've got Kensley Smith in that number 15 and Brandon Puffenbarger. Row number 7, Richie Joplin, David Stoops. Row number 8, Austin Sale, Truth Hoke will make up row number 8. Row number 9, you've got Lee Campbell and Barry Nelson. Row number 10, Aaron Roth and Blake Veekin. Row number 11, Jack Kelly and Brett Bray. Row number 12, Andrew Teft and Steve Castle. Row number 13, Trevor Fetzig, Curtis Ecker. And rounding out your field is going to be James Foster Sr., Joe Bonner. And ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go green flag racing here at Daytona for the last time to start a race here. And as of right now, Terry Fennell, he is out to an early jump there. Let me go ahead and crank up the sound even more.
Out to an early jump, but Ryan Ward able to get around him on that outside lane with a really good push coming from that 66 machine to Barrel rolling there. And he's top 3 on the inside are already clear of that outside as Ryan Ward drive down. The outside lost a lot of momentum there. And it looks like that your top 5 are going to be single filed out already. And as I said earlier, we're going to see a little bit of, I think, more aggressive racing than we normally do here at Racers Elite, as these drivers are going to be doing everything they can to keep themselves up here in the front.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as we are going 80 laps today, which is just about 200 miles here at Daytona for the season finale, as these drivers complete lap number 1. And now that outside lane is starting to form up on the outside there with that number 66 of Aaron Rowland getting a push there by Dana Ryan in that number 49 machine. Still single file for your front four as they fly down this back straightaway. There we go. Sorry, guys, just making a couple adjustments here. All right, out of turn number 2 to complete the second lap, and we are ready looking at a possibly 3-wide situation as we see that number 42, Jonathan Stidham, he's starting to fall back on that outside lane. I'm not
Yeah, I believe you might have got to shuffle out a line there.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say I'm not sure if that was by design or not, but he is now finally able to get down in front of that number 28 of Barry Nelson. Stidham and Nelson, they work very well together, so seeing him be able to get down in front of Barry Nelson was no surprise there as they climbed the bakings once again.
And that 49, I believe, of Dana Ryan here is going to have to try to do a little bit of a better job of staying on the 66 of Aaron Rowland's bumper here, as they are gaining a slight bit of momentum, but him not being on the bumper more consistently is costing them a small amount of time here. And you can see Kinsley Smith making his way up through the field as well, I believe, on that outside line. So far, our biggest mover is going to be Austin Sell in that 300 machine, currently sitting P9 up 6 spots. Lee Campbell matching that, though, as he did just lose a spot back to P12.
You know, it's absolutely no surprise seeing Austin Sale in that number 300 slowly start to make his way in that low and slow barbecue machine as they are getting ready to leave. I believe that's the 66 of Aaron Rowland to hang to the outside there. You know, Austin Sale, he's pretty quick everywhere we go. So if there's any teams looking for a fast driver for next season, you guys don't look any further than Austin Sale in that number 300 machine.
Yeah, he is a very phenomenal driver, as is most of the field, that we have tonight. These guys are very good at what they do here at the Super Speedway Series, and even in the other series throughout the week. And somebody I want to keep my eye on. Let me double check race here. Well, yeah, never mind. I don't think he's here tonight. Anyways, 45 round, we're continuing the lead here pretty early in this race. I believe we led every lap so far. So just a little update on that 66 machine that was leading the outside line. He is currently down 17 positions, sitting in the 21st spot. As that just goes to show, you get out of line here and just the slightest little bit, and you're going to fall all the way to the back here. It's just very hard to find a gap to get into with the way these drivers are spread out currently. Aaron Roth now the biggest mover, up 10 spots currently in P9 in that 57 machine. Jack Kelly also up 10 spots in the 11th. And it looks like, for the most part, I might have been wrong. These guys kind of single filed out. Top at least 10, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely so far, as these drivers are coming through the tri-oval here for the 8th time. Yeah, so everybody pretty much single filed until you just get to about, that number 15 machine of Kinsley Smith, who is getting a good push here by Lee Campbell in that 60. And now these two drivers, they're starting to make their way towards the front. And so far, they're up to 12th.
Hey, look who's in that group with them there. Truth Hoke, who's been doing, surprising me here the past week or so, as he's been really pushing towards getting to the front. Even during that, I believe, the big Daytona event we had here, he was running near the front during part of that as well. Unfortunately, got involved in a wreck there towards the end of that race.
Yeah, definitely, that was a really big race. And, some of these drivers are out here tonight, for redemption back from Sunday. So we have it was a really good kickoff to our Sunday morning series as these drivers hit the high banks up here once again. And next week, I think we're in for an absolute treat of a season Sunday nights Sunday mornings. So I'm really excited to see what else these drivers can do as they're trying to go 3 wide back here. That 60 machine had to back out to Lee Campbell, or else he was going to get pinched right up against that number 55 of Truth Hoke.
Yeah, and I believe that number 66 almost had another issue with someone else a little further back there, and almost got into the side of them, just not even far behind that as well. But I'm gonna go back up here and check on the front of everything. It looks like everybody's still single file out, so I think we maybe keep our eyes back here towards the middle of the pack. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. As these drivers are, moving back and forth, trying to figure out where they want to hang out. These drivers absolutely trying to make something happen as we see Blake Viken in that number 51 machine taking around to the outside here as he lost a little bit of the draft there with that car directly in front of him. I believe that's Kensley Smith and no, I'm sorry.
Whoa,
That's
wow.
Aaron Rowland. Man, look at that closing rate.
And something back here happened with the 85. I believe he hit the apron or possibly come up and gone into the 89. That's going to be David Stoops, and he's going to lose a lot of positions off of that.
Yeah, definitely one of the biggest things here. And you said that was the what number? I'm sorry.
The 85, he got like really loose, came up in front of Steve Castle in that one machine. I ended up actually going on the apron and letting everybody by. He's having some sort of issues here. So he is going to lose the draft off of everybody.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for David. But, we're still really early in this race. So I'm not necessarily too worried about him not able to get back on the lead lap. So, we still got over, 60 laps left. So,
Oh yeah, still plenty of time for a caution if we do
yeah.
end up having one. And it looks like this a little bit harder track than these drivers are used to.
Oh,
It
trouble!
does oh,
And
speaking
there's
of
that
Rick,
caution. Oh,
and
Kensley
it's still
Smith is
continuing.
involved.
I look like a good 6 to 8 cars there involved in that incident as we were coming onto the backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like Aaron Rowland possibly got the worst of it. Bad disaster for those drivers, but a blessing for that number 85 machine. Aaron Rowland not able to get facing the right direction. Yeah, kind of had to spin it out. I think he's got a little too much damage here as he's going to go ahead and try to get moving
And I'm
again.
taking a look at the wreck now. Let me know when you're ready there, sir.
Yep, watching.
All right, so it kind of looks like, he's getting a little bit of a push from Kinsley Smith. They ended up getting loose coming off the corner. He comes down, gets into Kirby Wainscott, comes back up into Kinsley Smith, and just after that, an absolute parking lot there on the backstretch. A lot of drivers did a very good job of avoiding that, though. Try to get it on board here if we can. The 51,
Yeah.
I believe. The 51.
Yeah, so
Blake Viken.
yeah, very unfortunate for Blake Viken. He was just a victim of circumstance. And Kensley Smith, he's going around in this here as well. Is that the 89 Richie Joplin
Yep,
involved
89
here?
of Richie Joplin involved. The 57 of Aaron Ross.
Yeah, Andrew Smith. Sorry, Andrew. Andrew Teft using the entire inside lane and taking advantage of that newly fresh pavement down below. But just very unfortunate for a couple of these drivers. And let's go right on board, as you said, with that number 51 machine.
And yeah, as we're taking a look at that, I believe the EOL is going to be put on Kinsley Smith in the 15 for just a bad push there, as he did kind of come up the track a little bit while he was pushing the 66, I think I noticed. So unfortunately, along with the 15 getting damaged here, he's going to have to start at the end of the line. So
there we go. All right, let's right on board here with Blake Viken. Yeah, just very unfortunate for them. as that 57 comes off the wall. Viken absolutely nowhere to go. Oh, man. Let's go right on board here with Aaron Rowland. Oh, let's go back just a little bit more.
And while you're doing that, we'll try to get YouTube chat pulled up here because, you know, we don't want to miss out on anybody's comments here. Normally I already have it pulled up. That is my bad. Alrighty. So we got Blake Viken in the house saying, let's go me and Ryan Warp, and happy birthday to Richie Joplin. We got Charles Joplin saying, let's get it. We got someone saying, let's go Dana. And we also got, let's go Ryan Warp from Mr. Steve. Appreciate everybody for stopping by.
Why do I
taking a
feel
moment
like
being here.
why do I feel like Richie Joplin's birthday is like every week?
I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. I feel like his birthday's been brought up a couple times, but
Well, Richie, happy birthday again for the 6th or 7th week in a row. Hope you're having a good birthday out there.
my man is aging very fast.
Yeah, we don't know if that's a good thing. Oh, man. But Brandon Puffenberger, that number 5 machine, he is your current race leader. He's one of those quiet drivers that he comes out, just minds his own, and, you know, he kills it when he needs to. Started back in that 12th position. Ryan Warp in that number 45 machine. Started second, still currently second, led the most laps so far here today in that Monster Energy 45 machine. As we get ready to double up here to go back Green Flag Racing.
Yeah, also, you know, that 8 machine of Curtis Ecker working his way up through the field, starting, I believe, 26th and currently sitting P10, up 16 spots so far.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, Curtis Ecker, he owns Traditions Outdoor, or Family Traditions Outdoor. If you guys are up in the Pennsylvania area, especially around Pocono Raceway, go check him out. You know, you can rent a RV from him, pretty decent pricing. So definitely check him out. Again, it's Family Traditions Outdoors. I believe it's actually familytraditionsoutdoors.com. I mean, go check him out, guys. You can't beat it. If you're up in that area as well and just got an RV sitting, you go do like a co-sign with him, and he'll rent it out for you, stock it up, clean it up. You make money, he makes a little money. That's a win-win right there, and your RV becomes like a little Airbnb.
Well, man, you know, we're 15 laps into this thing right now. We've already had a caution due to a bad push here. You think these drivers are going to back it down a little bit, or you think we're still going to be seeing some of these kind of aggressive pushes, I'd say, pretty early?
Dakota, I'll tell you what. The quick answer, hell no. These guys here at Friday Night Full Send Super Speedway Series, these guys do nothing but full send it every single lap. And let me tell you what, there are a few out there that takes their times, but you got some aggressors out there that don't mind pushing and pushing until, well, you make a mistake and you get pushed too far. But we're getting ready to go back Green Flag Racing right here at Daytona. Brandon Puffenberger, Joshua Neal will bring the field to the Green Flag. I'm sorry, Ryan Warp to the Green Flag, but Ryan Warp, he actually has a very bad start this time by, and he's going to drop all the way back to that 3rd spot. And here comes Kirby Wainscott getting onto the inside, as we see that number 14 of Michael Barksdale in that big red machine trying to make some noise up here in the top 5. Michael Barksdale, I believe this is his first race with us here in Racers Elite. But there's also a couple other names throughout the field that I don't notice. For instance, James Foster Sr. in that number 48 machine. And David Stoops, he was another one that didn't look familiar to me. So if this is your first race here with Racers Elite, welcome in. And right now, Michael Barksdale is having a really good showing in that 6th spot.
Yeah, but Ron Warp coming back on the outside with a really good push from Michael Burke, speaking of him. And that's going to put him back into the lead here as they are doing a phenomenal job on that outside lane here. But I'm kind of wondering if he's going to drop down and stay up there and try to get the 30 or the
14.
well, that answered my question.
He made the move before you can even finish getting it out. As Ryan Warp does drop to the inside, but that's going to bring Barksdale right to the outside, and he's getting a really good push from Kevin Haas in that number 13 machine. As they exit turn number 4, these guys will drag race down the front straightaway, but right now Barksdale's got the better position as he will drop down in front of Ryan Warp, and that's going to allow Kevin Haas to make his run up to the outside, getting pushed by none other than Jack Kelly in that number 38 machine.
Yeah, and as we just saw, it looks like David Stoops coming out of the pits. He must have had some damage or something there as he was in the pits for about 3 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, 82 getting loose, getting sent up in the middle, and we got someone spinning around behind him. I believe that's the 50 machine.
Terry Fennell is involved in this one. Blake Veekin in the 51 machine as well. Very unfortunate here, and I think I saw a couple of the drivers kind of fade back here. Andrew Teft once again trying to protect himself and drop all the way down.
Yeah, I had to rewind it just a little bit there because there was something that started that off. I believe it was the 82 car. Not quite sure what happened with him. Taking a look at it, kind of looks like he just come out of the bottom groove, got super loose for some reason, and that caused a big checkup there. And just unfortunately for the 50 car, I mean, he tries to come up to avoid him. It looks like the 60 trying to go around his outside, and that's going to put the 50 right into the wall.
Yeah, it looks like here from slow-mo, just a checkup, and I don't think the 60 could have done anything different there in this situation. Just the checkup in front of him, he just didn't check up quick enough. So I do hope race control does understand all that, but unfortunately, I think they're gonna have to possibly pin the blame, and if they do, it's gonna be on.
As soon as I hear something from race control, I will let everybody know though.
Yeah, the 60 of Campbell. Don't know why I couldn't think of his name there for a second, but it looks like that number 50 machine went right up in front of Brett Bray, and then Veekin was just a very big innocent bystander here. But I want to jump to that number 98 because I see him and that number 300. Yeah, so they were playing smart. They saw something going on, and they were quickly all the way down against that outside wall or that inside wall. They're like, nope, we're not playing that. As you see, Kensley Smith do the same thing. Whoa, hold on to it, Teft. Big ride for... Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, back to Daytona. I do deeply apologize about that. Not exactly sure what's going on, and now all of a sudden I have a different thing popping up for my replays as my replay screen. Whiplash Sim Cams is now popping up, which is alright, because we want to thank Whiplash Sim Cams for all their beautiful cams that we see here at Racers Elite Network. But let me tell you what, though. Andrew Teft and the number 15 of Kensley Smith, they're definitely keep minding their P's and Q's here at Daytona, because as soon as the wreck happens in front of them, they are ditching it down all the way to that inside wall.
So I do want to give a little update after that last wreck. We got the 300 of Austin Sale in pits getting some damage fixed. He's leaving now. Looks like Aaron Roth in pits currently, possibly trying to get some damage fixed. It looks like he's going to be taking off as well. And we got Brett Bray in here. still. Don't see a lot of damage on his car, so maybe something with the wheel. I know his front nose is a little messed up there, but he's still on pit road. Only person to not make it off pit road here at the moment. And it looks like he's going to load it up on the hauler. He might have actually had a meatball there, so unfortunate for Brett Bray in that 6 machine.
Yeah, as we see Andrew Taft here in that number 98 machine coming down to get some fuel. Very good strategy. Keep coming down, topping off on your fuel. Make sure you can get to the end. I mean, we're not to a point where they can make it, to the end. But I mean, hey, the less fuel you have to take, right?
Yeah, and looking at YouTube chat here, we got Blake Viken in here saying should have drove my pace car or my caution car today.
Yeah.
But it looks like the 13 of Kevin Haas here is going to be taking over the lead with the 38 of Jack Kelly on his outside. Jack Kelly, another, I'd say, kind of under the radar driver sometimes. Does a phenomenal job.
Yeah, for sure.
Curtis Ecker, though, sitting in P4 of 22 spots since the start of this race, doing an absolute phenomenal job here, avoiding some of these incidents and stuff, been able to work his way through the field. But it seems like a lot of these drivers possibly have used their fast repair already or are saving them as they have been staying on pits trying to get some of this damage fixed.
Yeah, Jack Kelly in the number 38. He's another driver that's made his way up through the field. He's up 19 spots, sitting in that second spot on the outside now of Kevin Haas in that number 13 Chevrolet. So, four Chevys leading this field to the green here as we finish up our second caution on the evening as we get ready to go green flag here once again at Daytona. The pace truck is off and into the United Rental restart zone, and we are green flag racing once again here at Daytona to begin lap number 22.
And a hell of a job from Jack Kelly on the outside to get it going on that restart there, potentially even take over the lead going into one. That's probably the best restart on the outside I've seen here in a while.
Yeah, definitely an incredible run there as Jack Kelly. He will get his fender out in front of Kevin Haas, but here comes Kevin back hard to the inside lane as these drivers will now drag race 4-5 deep. But right now it's going to be Kevin Haas in that number 13 Chevrolet taking over the race lead. But right now Jack Kelly in that number 38 machine, he is trying hard to keep that momentum going on the outside. A lot of movement out of those top two on the outside lane. They were able to get themselves settled down on the exit, and now they got to get themselves refocused and get back once again single file, or nose to tail I should say, as they enter turn number 1 and 2, and that will do it. They will begin a good pass here on the outside in turn 1 as they come flying down the back straightaway.
And just a little update from that last caution. I don't believe I heard race control say anything about anyone getting an ELL, so probably considered a racing incident there, as there was a big checkup in front of those guys that ended up causing that wreck.
Yeah, I think that's definitely absolutely the right call from race control, as there was just a really big, massive checkup, and there wasn't much, like I said, that 60 machine could do to avoid contact, and there's just a really big difference of just like completely dumping somebody versus dumping somebody because there's just a big checkup, nothing you could do.
And I mean, these guys are still side by side up here battling for the lead, doing a heck of a job coming out of 4. But it looks like the 8 car, Curtis Ecker, is going to get a little bit of an edge here coming down the front straight and possibly be able to clear the 38 of Jack Kelly. Just started to go down, decided not to, as the inside did have a little bit of a run there. So they're going to be your back side by side going through 1 and 2 this time. It looks like the 8 machine is going to have the Health of True coat. And Kevin pushing the inside with Jack Kelly there. Jack Kelly back out to a phenomenal lead on that inside line, going through 1 and 2 this time. And it does look like the outside line is starting to fade back here a little bit. Not quite sure what's going on with them, as the 55 is all over the back bumper of the 8 here.
Yeah, Truth Oak, he is definitely one of the hardest pushers here in the Full Send Friday Night Super Speedway series. So seeing Truth Oak up here pushing like he's doing right now to Curtis Ecker is absolutely no surprise. But let's see what they can do to get that outside lane moving. As right now, there's only about 8 cars on that outside lane, maybe 7. And right now, they're just not moving. And here they come once again, flying down the back straightaway. Now that outside lane is starting to make movement. They are up beside Michael Barksdale. Truth Hook now there. He's getting that 8 machine onto the outside of the 13 of Haas. And now they are battling side by side for that race lead on the exit turn number 4. Coming down the short chute back into the trioval. Curtis Ecker, he will lead this lap. He's trying to get Truth Hook clear as well. And both of those drivers will now make their way down to the inside and take over that race lead. But that leaves Kirby Wainscott, somebody you really don't want out front leading on that high side. As we all know that Kirby Wainscott and Barry Nelson hooked up. Yeah, they're in for something else now as these drivers start to make their way towards the front.
Yeah, and I just want to take a moment because I think you might have missed it there. That 38 got really loose coming out of 4 and absolutely checked up that inside line. I thought he was about to go to the inside balls. He gets a bad push. He came down on the 13 there as the 13 was about to push him and got really loose again. So a little bit of issues in the 38 camp with Jack Kelly at the moment.
Yeah, Jack Kelly definitely has his hands full from that number 13 machine of Kevin Haas. He's like, all right, we got to get this inside lane moving. I don't care. I got to do it 4th car behind. But we're going to get this inside lane moving as they're starting to make movement towards the front once again. And he's working now on the inside of Michael Barksdale. Oh, trouble!
45 into the wall. That's going to bring out another person there. Kirby Wainscott and Ryan Ward involved in that incident and a couple others. Let's go back and get a look here.
Sorry. No. Terry! Oh my gosh.
What happened there?
I don't know. All I saw was Terry Fennell in that 50 machine just absolutely clobbers somebody.
So I'm already back taking a look at it here. I believe that was either netcode or Kirby Wainscott just got really loose coming out of the corner there. I'm not sure because he just dead hooked to the left down into 45 of Ryan Warp, back up the track there, and that's going to put both of them into the wall. Yeah. That was weird. It looks like he got hooked to the left, but there was no contact there.
Yeah, let's go back here. Who's pushing him? The 28 of Barry Nelson.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here at the nose. Okay, maybe not the nose because that's like right there. But let's go ahead and just bring this up here. He's right there on the back bumper. He might have very well got him a little bit arrow loose on exit of the corner.
Yeah, but like, it's just a very odd situation there, as you don't typically see that. But yeah, it is very possible he did get him arrow loose there. It's unfortunate for Ryan Warp, who's been running pretty good today, involved in this incident as well.
Yeah, I want to come back here and ride along with Terry Fennell as he just comes out and he's just in for an absolute ride. He's trying hard to keep going and he just slams hard into the door of that number 5 machine of Brandon Puffenbarger. And let's go back and actually see that in real time. Yeah, his car was just absolutely broken. There's not much he could do there.
But I will say, phenomenal job from the 60 machine there, I believe.
Mm.
Trying to see who that is. Lee Campbell to dodge that wreck there. I mean, look how close that was. He was just able to perfectly at the last second just get right around them two.
Oh yeah, that was close. Now this one we can.
Oh, we got someone baby bleeding down the backstretch. I missed
Woo!
that.
That was close. We're just gonna slow it down just a tad here for you guys. Look out! Yo, that was close.
Oh gosh, watch the 5 car. I don't know if you've seen that or not. I believe that's the 5 machine.
Yes. Yeah, he got absolutely clobbered by that number 50 machine. Definitely very unfortunate there for Brandon Puffenbarger.
All right, going back to the live side of things though, new race leader Andrew Teft currently up 22 spots. We got Curtis Ecker up 22 spots sitting fourth, and Truth who going to be taking over that P2 position up 14 spots. Well, looks like Kevin's going to be starting third. So, interesting mix of how that worked out with the pit stops there.
Yeah, definitely. And Andrew Teft, he will get a bonus point for leading a lap. Kensley Smith in that number 15. We're still waiting for him to lead a lap here. And, you know, this battle for the race, for the championship is getting really down to the nitty gritty. I mean, there's just first place Andrew Teft, back to sixth is Kensley Smith. I mean, those points are huge, so at this point, anybody could possibly walk away from this.
Yeah, I believe Beacon in the YouTube chat saying he needs some new britches after that. Well, sir, do I got the sponsor for you? Depends for all your needs, sir. I mean, you don't necessarily have to change them right away whenever you're in your race suit and you have a code brown moment. Depends for everyday life and everyday uses, sir.
Absolutely. I think we're going to need to definitely reach out to Depends and see about some sort of sponsorship deal.
I wouldn't even care if they paid me.
As these drivers come down the back straightaway, these guys are now. And we are back. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, man. You got that taken care of so fast, it almost looked like you purposely went to an ad and came back instantly.
You're welcome.
So, a few technical difficulties up here in the booth as we're trying to get a few bugs sorted out, but we are getting ready to go back green flag racing. Andrew Tate's going to be leading us back to green here. True Tuck on his outside. True Tuck going to be looking to get a really good restart as we're going back green flag racing here. And Andrew Tate out to a pretty good lead, but True Tuck coming back on that outside lane. Still side by side as we're coming down the front stretch going in the one. It looks like True Tuck is going to have the advantage, but Andrew Tate's got that 13 all over his back bumper of Kevin Haas. But we all know Kensley Smith is a really good pusher as well, and he's currently sitting in that third spot on the outside line. Oh, we have a little bit of issue out of the 80s. He got a little loose, came down into the 13 slightly, but True Tuck still just barely ahead of Andrew Tett here, but it looks like the 13 is going to get to the back of Andrew Tett a little sooner than the guys on the outside, but True Tuck still carrying the momentum going into 3 and 4 this time.
Yeah, Truth Hoke definitely holding very strong on that outside lane with Curtis Ecker right behind him. And behind Curtis Ecker, you got Kensley Smith. Probably 6 of the best drafting drivers here in Racers Elite make up your top 6. As you see Steve Castle in that number 1 machine, he's starting to make some noise coming up 17 back. As he's working the outside of number 38 of Jack Kelly. He's like, I want to be part of that top 6, and here he comes now, trying to push that outside lane all the way to the front. Oh, there goes
Andrew Tett taking a hard lift.
Hold up, hold up. Do not hit that wall. Bring it back on nice and easy here, Tiff. Easy, easy, easy. Beautiful. Driving by those, heads up driving by those drivers back there in the
Kinsley
back.
Smith and Truth Hawk getting a little bit of contact as they're coming down the front stretch, not to cut you off there, as Kinsley Smith is on the inside. Truth Hawk coming down, trying to get a little bit of side draft there, possibly two clear Kinsley Smith, and Kinsley Smith still doing a phenomenal job on the inside line, waiting for Steve Castle here in that one car to get to his back bumper for a little bit of help. That is going to allow for Truth Hawk to drop down if he wants to, as he's finally taking over the race lead here.
Yeah, but here comes Kinsley Smith now fighting back because he's got help from that number 1 machine.
Ooh,
As we have,
dropping to the open.
yes, Kevin Haas, he says, no, this isn't my style just yet. As you see him, he's now going to drop all the way back here. But, I mean, this might be by design as he gets sideways, and that's into the outside wall. That's not what he wanted to do.
What happened there? I want to go back.
Just a very...
Take a look.
Yeah, just very unfortunate there. That transition, unfortunately, doesn't really give us an option, so we have to do it this way. But he was just trying to let everybody go by, and he went to get back up on the racetrack. Or he was trying to stay down on the apron, but he was going way too fast, and just that different, that banking is just so ugly. And that's exactly what can happen, and again, those 4 drivers in the back had to avoid another driver.
And I want to take a moment here to say the radio chat's getting a little spicy tonight, man. You don't typically hear any kind of aggression out of these drivers during these races, but with this being a championship race, I think the aggression's just up a hair here.
Yeah, especially probably coming out of our 2 top drivers running for that championship of Kinsley Smith in that number 15 and the 98 of Andrew Teft. Kinsley Smith, he did come in leading the championship, and Andrew Teft, he really wants it. But with what just happened in Andrew Teft all the way back now in that 24th spot, as of right now, Kinsley Smith, he would walk away as your champion for this season in the Full Send Friday night Full Send Super Speedway Series.
Oh, looks like Kevin Haas had another issue. Check on that here.
Yeah, it looks like
he was coming out of pits and possibly just lost it here. Oh, no. Never mind.
Unfortunately, I think it might have just been one of those, retirement defeated feelings at this moment. But as of right now, Truth Hoke in that number 55 machine, I want to talk about Truth Hoke here for just a quick moment. In that number 55 machine, throughout this season, not only here Friday night, but the Tuesday trucks, Xfinity, and the Cup, Truth Hoke, he has absolutely grown so much as a driver. And this last half of the season, he has just been absolutely on a tear. And man, let me tell you what, if he can get the win here tonight, that'll be a big weight off of that driver of that number 55 machine.
That is very true, but I mean, anything can happen still, as we're not even halfway in this race yet, and I'm seeing a lot of movement out of some of these cars, like even the 300 right now, who's trying to take over the lead here on the outside, kind of swerving back and forth a little bit. Seems like these cars are a little on edge.
Yeah, definitely. As you see, Sale gonna lead this lap as newcomer Barksdale, he's pushing that number 300 out to the front. He's not able to clear that 55 but of course, Curtis Egger, he's going to push that number 55 right back to the race lead here on the exit of turn 2. Still side by side down the back straightaway. Not sure who's going to come out with the race lead, but right now my telemetry is showing Austin Sale. But here comes that 55 machine. Oh, he gets turned in front of the field. Check up, everybody, check up.
Oh, Truth Hoke hard licking to the wall.
I think one person may have gotten through. Oh, man.
So
Ah.
you have to do this a little bit the old-fashioned way and rewind it just to hear. Take a look here.
Yeah, I think I need to go back, and I think that might be a setting on my end that I need to take care of. But yeah, let's come back here and try to see what exactly happened out front here.
All right. So taking a look at it here, I mean,
No, back even more,
the
guys.
three. While you're going back here, it looks like the 300 is kind of swerving a little bit, and I believe the 14 is trying to give him a good push. And just unfortunately, I mean, it ends up being a bad push with the
In the
14 try
corner.
to come down to get behind the 300, and then the 300 went up, so the 14 tried to come up a little bit and just made a little bit of contact, and that causes the 300 to go around. I mean, I can't necessarily put blame on the 14 there.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, a
And
lot of really good drivers taken out here.
so we got the 14 of Michael. Looks like
Ouch.
we got the 8 car of Curtis Ecker. We got the 60 of Lee Campbell. The 55 of Truth Hope getting a hard hit. The 300 here. Looks like the 50 machine involved as well. Got the 38 trying to go on the apron, sliding up, getting into the 82s. Could put the 82 into the wall as well. And a couple more drivers. I mean, almost a parking lot, but not. I can't call this the big one yet.
Yeah, that was pretty close to being the big one for sure. Let's go high above and take a look here. Let's not.
And just an update, Race Control did put that one on the 14, so the 14 will be getting EOL at the start, or as this caution goes, so he'll be have to start at the end of the longest line here.
As we do take a look here from high above Daytona International Speedway from our blimp cam, and just watch all heck break loose here at Daytona, coming through turns 3 and 4. Oh, who was that who took, I think that was Ryan Warp. He took big drastic measures to avoid a car, and he went up onto that little hill up there in turns 3 and 4. But he was able to keep himself nice and clear. But man, oh man, a lot of really good cars involved in this one. As you see, Truth Hoke in that number 55 machine still down on pit road with a lot of damage.
Yeah, but I saw that wreck a little differently. I can understand why the 14 might have got the EOL there, but I still that's just very unfortunate. Just these cars are so loose, and with the track temp today, the aero's kind of causing the car to be loose, and you're not really seeing the grip that you typically get at these super speedways, and just making it really hard for some pushes, especially on that outside lane. But on another note here, we got Ryan Warp taking back over the lead after being involved in some stuff earlier. So that's good for him. Steve Castle, second place in that one machine of 22 spots. Got a lot of big movers today. Trevor Figg in that sixth place spot and up 19 spots. Curtis Ecker up 19 spots, currently sitting seventh. Barry Nelson, eighth, up 10 spots. We got Jamie Foster, I believe a newcomer you said earlier, right? Up
I
18
believe so,
spots,
yeah.
currently sitting ninth. I mean, so yes, we are having wrecks, but it is allowing for a few people to make their way through the field here.
As we do see some drivers coming down pit road. Kirby Wayne Scott, Trevor Fetzig, Curtis Ecker, Barry Nelson, Austin Sale, Andrew Teff, Dana Ryan, Kensley Smith, Steve Est, all coming down pit road this time. And, I want to top up here on Steve Castle in that number 1 machine. I do want to send out a big, huge public apology to Steve, because all season long I was calling him Steve Casil, and it's been Castle. So big, huge apology out to Steve. But let me tell you what, Steve, you have absolutely turned your season around. Going from the lower parts of the point standings, you've made your way up towards the middle towards the top, the final half of the season here. So just what an incredible run for Steven Castle in that number one machine. So I did want to point that out as well.
Yep, and now that you said that, be looking for Steve Castle to be going into the wall here shortly, as Mike has a commentator curse every time he praises somebody, they absolutely get killed.
Shut up. Yeah, David Stoops, he's made his way back into the top 10 here, running eighth.
Yeah, a little bit of issues early on, not damage, but not real sure what's been going on with him. Is he's been kind of on and off the track here. Was able to get the lap back, and like you said, up in the top eight.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like Dana Ryan in that 49 machine asking for an EOL. I'm not quite sure what's going on with him. Maybe he has a little bit of damage. He wants to be in the back. But we are getting ready to go back green flag racing. Ryan Warp, Stephen Castle going to be leading us back to the green. Ryan Warp looking for some help from Terry Fennell in that third place spot in that 50 machine. And Jack Kelly on the outside looking to help Stephen Castle. And it looks like we're having some shuffling going on in the middle of the pack here. What's going on?
Yeah, it looks like we got one driver, David Stoops, coming down pit road. And we are green flag racing once again here at Daytona. Ryan Warp, Steve Castle will bring the field back to the green flag as they start shifting up through the gears, heading down the short chute up to the high banks of turn number one. That inside lane just absolutely did not go. And so your top five on that outside lane was able to move down everybody except Terry Fennell in that number 50 machine as they come flying out of turn number two. But now we have one driver jumping up to that outside lane, possibly looking to try to help, as that fourth place driver of Lee Campbell in that number 60, he jumps help as he's getting help from none other than Joshua Neal in that number 82 machine, as they weren't able to make any ground, so they will go ahead and sneak back down onto the inside here on the exit of a turn number 4, as they will go ahead and come around to begin lap number 44. So we are a little bit our halfway point. So we have just under 100 miles left before we see the checkered flag for the final time here in the full send super speedway series, as we have two drivers, Brandon Puffenbarger and I believe that's
Joshua Neal in that 82 machine,
yep,
dropping to the back of the field here. As Lee Campbell still trying to
go. As these drivers are now flying down the back straightaway. Once again, still side by side for just about that third spot. And right now, Steve Castle, he's holding strong in that third spot on the inside, as that top four in that outside lane are starting to fall back. And they are being led, I believe, by that 60 machine of Lee Campbell. No, Blake Beacon is the first car on the outside lane. As of right now, everybody is a single file except your four on the outside, as they are trying to make their way back up through the field, but so far it's a no can do, as these drivers are still fighting around the third place of Steve Castle, as they are starting to make ground here on the back straightaway, heading up into turn number 3. I apologize about the sound, ladies and gentlemen. With OBS keep closing on me, it changes and reverts all the sound back to quietness. But let me go ahead and we're going to crank this up here, ladies and gentlemen, and let's really sit here and enjoy the sound of super speedway racing. ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and turn down those speakers once again as these drivers come flying through turns 3 and 4 as they are going to continue to make their way down the front straightaway here, still side by side for that race lead. Blake Viken, he's looking to take over that top spot away from Ryan Warp in that number 45, but so far that outside lane is pretty much stalled with just those 6 cars on the outside. I think if they want to make anything happen, they're going to need to at least get a couple more cars out there with them. But let's go ahead and jump back here just a little bit. Let's catch up with Andrew Teft and Kensley Smith, who are currently back in that 10th and 11th spot. As you see Andrew Teft there on the inside, as you see Kensley Smith right behind him. So these two drivers are staying pretty much really close to each other because, you know, Kensley Smith knows if Teft gets too far out, he could very well lose the championship here tonight. So he's doing everything he can to keep that number 98 machine in his sight. Blake Viken now out front in full control of this race. Ryan Warp in that number 45 machine right there on his back bumper. And Jack Kelly in that number 38 machine holding strong on the inside in that 3rd spot as we have 29 laps to go this time. So we all now know that these drivers could possibly go about 10 more laps before they need not 10, but probably just about 7 laps before they might be able to get into the clear for their final pit stop.
Let me go double check something just to be safe.
Oh, and here comes Andrew Teff now working on the outside as he's trying to get around Austin Sale, but Sale's trying to slow up that momentum by going up and blocking the air from that number 98 machine. But he's not able to keep him at bay as he is now working on the outside of Steve Castle for that 4th spot. And now Andrew Teft, he's got a really good push from that number 14 machine, who is currently 1 lap down. So Barksdale, he's looking to get his lap back, and who knows, maybe if he can get Teft up to the front, Teft will let him slide down in front of him and allow Barksdale to get his lap back as a thank you. But as of right now, that outside lane is starting to fade once again. Andrew Teft is still trying to make something happen on the outside lane, but he is just not able to get himself moving. As you see that number 57 machine of Aaron Roth, he's going to pass Andrew Teft. And here comes the 60 as well, and that's going to put Teft back in that 8th spot. And that's going to put Kensley Smith now side by side. Oh, Andrew Teft dropping right in front of Kensley Smith. Oh, we have, one car very slow coming down into the pits. Who on earth was
might have been
that?
An incident there because that car is missing his whole front clip.
Let's go back here and take a look because just him coming out of...
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he's definitely down on power.
Looks like it's David Stoops in the 85 there.
Yeah, he's having issues getting down into his pit stall as well. As both drivers having issues. But let's go ahead and catch back up here now with our front pack as they are heading back down into the tri-oval to come to 25 laps to go. This is now your shootout in the Draft Master Series. 25 laps, still anybody's game. As you see that outside lane kind of just stalling out there, not able to get moving at all. But right now, Andrew Teft and that number's 98 machine currently in that 7th spot. And right now, I think they're just riding nice and comfortably, as they still know they may still need to come down pit road at least one more time before this thing's over.
Kind of curious on if anyone's going to be able to make it all the way, because a lot of people did come down a pit again. And I know we're only at an 80% fuel load, but I believe it was a little under 40 laps, and I know you can go about 45 on 100%, I think. So I did just hear something. It looks like the 85 might have possibly got a drive-through or something, because he went through, I believe, too many pit stalls, and also for cutting down across the field the way he did entering the pits. So it looks like Andrew Test still leading that charge on the outside. They're just not able to get enough cars grouped up to really do anything here. So Blake Beacon doing a phenomenal job up there with Ryan Ward, currently 1-2. But as I say that, Andrew Teft gets a pretty good amount of momentum coming on the outside. Able to get to the outside of Austin Sell here. Looking to get to the outside of Steven Castle. And he's almost able to do so, but it looks like it's kind of stalling out coming down the front stretch here. He is finally able to get to the outside of Steve Castle here. Sorry about that. Looking to get to the outside of third place of Jack Kelly here in the 38 machine. The pushes on the outside just not working as good as they were early in this race. I think the driver's trying to be a little bit more careful, as there's been a lot of spin outs from the outside with pushes.
Yeah, definitely. As you know, you continue to see these guys try to make something happen on the outside, but with only 5 drivers up there, it's not going to be in Andrew Teft's favor as they come back across the start-finish line. And Blake Beacon in that number 51, also showing as, I think it's the 84 or something like that. You know, he's having a really good day so far, and he's really looking to finish strong here tonight, as the last few races for him here in the Super Speedway Series have not really ended up very well for him. So he's looking to change all that tonight.
South Lane just absolutely lost all momentum there, but it looks like they do have another taker. I believe Aaron Roth in that 57 machine will be trying to take over the lead on the outside. Andrew Test getting him the business in there and almost getting Aaron Roth around in that 57 machine, so that's going to cost him a little bit more time here. As you see Kinsley Smith kind of just chilling back there, a pretty good ways away from 14, looking to get a little bit of momentum. I wonder if he'll jump up to the outside here.
Yeah, I mean, that's very possible, but now they are absolutely just falling back. Now they are to that 10th spot, 11th spot now, and they're still dropping like a rock on that outside lane, as the 60, he decides to abandon the outside lane. And now Andrew Teft, he's trying to figure out how to get down, because right now it is back in the hands of Kinsley Smith in that number 15 machine to take home the championship now.
And I see what happened. That 57 has front end damage, so whenever he got up in front of them, it killed all the momentum here. As I'm actually getting a closer look at the 57 machine of Aaron Roth. Quite a bit of damage to that vehicle at the moment. It looks like the 53 Fennel behind him as well has quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate there. And, you know, let's go ahead and catch up here to that Kinsley Smith machine. He's currently running in that 6th spot, and I mean, still in a really good position here to take home the race win, as we do have 19 laps to go here at Daytona for the season finale. As that number 14 of Michael Barksdale, he is looking. He did look to the outside there for a brief second, but now here comes Lee Cable in that 60 machine trying to make something of it. He's going to fall back, but he's going to have help from Curtis Ecker here in the 8 machine. And Andrew Teft once again up on that outside lane as he is trying to keep in front of your current championship leader, Kensley Smith, as they are now making their way up alongside Kensley Smith here.
No any better. I said Kinsley Smith is saving fuel right now, as it looks like we're coming around a lap car there.
Oh, he's
everyone
slow.
able to get around him. Everyone able to get around him pretty cleanly there. I believe it was the 48 to James Foster. But Kinsley Smith kind of hanging back from the pack here. He's either playing it very safe, trying to leave an exit, or he is saving a lot of fuel here. So potentially looking to make it all the way to the end, or trying to get less fuel for his pit stop here. One of the two.
Really good. Oh, go ahead. All right, we are still trying to figure out what brought out this caution for the fifth caution of the day.
So it looks like Ryan Warp in the 45 machine ended up having a little bit of connectivity issues there and blinked, so the 38, who was all over his back bumper pushing, ended up spinning him out.
Oh, that's definitely very unfortunate. I normally don't like to go, hey, let's go back and see that, but let's go back and see. Yeah, just right there. Yep, just you see him blink right there, and the 38 just nothing he could do, and hopefully the 7-Eleven did not get any issue there. That would be Trevor Fetzig.
He literally drove through him.
Yeah, but I'm not. Oh,
I don't see any damage on that car.
Yeah, looks pretty clean and clear from what I can tell. Yeah, so he should be all right in that Detroit Lions number 77 machine. Let's go Patriots.
Overall, it doesn't look like Ryan Warp has a lot of damage to his car, but I think he jumped to the pits here, so he's going to have to wait on a tow.
As we get a better look here at the front end of that 7-Eleven machine, he's looking absolutely beautiful. So the net code didn't affect him much there, and we're going to come here and see what we can see with Ryan Warp, but he looks pretty decent as well. I'm not seeing any damage on that machine, so I think he was able to get out of it just fine. All right, your race leaders are now coming down pit road.
All right, so hearing from race control here, 38 will get the black flag for the ELL here. The reason is because, yes, the 45 did blink, but the 45 came back before the wreck happened, and it was said the 38 could have lifted during the time the 45 was blinking to not cause that incident. Just to give everybody a little bit of an update here. So the 38 of Jack Kelly going to be starting at the end of the longest line here.
Very, very unfortunate there. I do want to touch up Blake Viken. As you guys saw, he missed his pit stall, so he did have to put that thing into reverse, and he did lose the race lead on that, so he went from first back to third, which really isn't a big deal here at Daytona, but that will cost him the race lead. But yeah, just give him a couple laps. I have a good feeling that we'll see Viken back up front before this thing's over.
Yeah, one thing to note, I don't think any of these drivers will have to come back down and take fuel again, unless we have quite a bit of Green-White-Checkered here. So 15 laps to go. There should be plenty of fuel in these cars to make it to the end.
Yeah, definitely.
So no chance of green flag stop at this point, but I will say the aggression level should be going up very, very much here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we're finishing up our fifth caution of the day. We're going to go ahead and take a very quick commercial break, and we will see you possibly when these cars are back on the back straightaway. As we come back live here to Daytona, looked like the 66 forgot that he was supposed to stay on the oval as he decided to.
I think that's a case of a money shift there. He went to go put it in the third and accidentally put it back in the first.
Yeah, let's go back here and take a look. No, it's not going to show me for the 66, huh?
I believe it's the 14, not
Oh, that was the
66.
14 that did that. Okay. Yeah, so he did.
Uh,
Yep. So just here he comes, and he was going to get the wave by and clink.
for some reason, whenever I click on the 66, it's showing me the 14. SDK, what's going on here?
All right. Drivers are up here in turns 3 and 4. Lee Campbell, Kensley Smith to his outside. And as of right now, Andrew Teft back in that 7th spot, also on the outside. So Andrew Teft, he's got a lot of driving that he's going to need to do if he's going to try to recatch your race leaders and come home with the championship. So this is it. We got about 14 laps of pure adrenaline racing. Get ready to start. And who is going to take home the championship? But we're getting ready to figure that out right now as we come, like I said, to, I believe, just about 14 laps to go.
Should be crossing the line for 13 to go this time, I believe. As the
Yes,
60 is going to
13.
be taking. Lee Campbell's going to be taking us back to the green. Kinsley Smith on his outside here. It looked like Lee Campbell got a little loose for some reason, and that is going to allow for Kinsley Smith to get around him on the outside. I believe going into one, not quite able to clear him, so they are going to be side by side drag racing here on the backstretch. As it looks like Austin Sale is going to get to the back bumper of Kinsley Smith before Blake Viken is able to get to the back bumper of Lee Campbell. So it's going to be interesting coming down the backstretch here. As you see, both drivers are giving it everything they got with these pushes here.
Yeah, Kensley Smith, I don't think he has led a lap just yet. Let's go ahead and verify that using this overlay. No, he has not led a lap, so he's looking to lead his first lap for that bonus point. And there it is right there. He has now led one lap here at Daytona. So now he is going to do everything he can to keep everybody behind him as he's got that 300 of Austin Sale right behind him. Austin Sale, he is looking to have a really good finish here at Daytona as, you know, he's always been having a lot of issues late in these races. So he's looking for a really good, strong finish here late in the running as that outside lane starting to fall back with Barry Nelson and Andrew Teft.
Lee Campbell going from that third spot, trying to get up to the outside. Unfortunately, it looks like Barry Nelson, I believe in that 28, is not able to get a good run here. Is finally going to start catching up to him. It looks like Blake Viken in that 51 machine going to send it to the outside as well to help. So here we got Lee Campbell kind of coming up the track. Came down to get a little bit of side draft and just shot up the track. Not sure what's going on there as he gives Blake Viken a huge push coming into 1 and 2 this time. And they are currently side by side throughout the field, all but first place.
Yeah, this temperature is absolutely rising in the cockpits of these race cars as you see that number 60, or I'm sorry, that 57 machine of Aaron Roth all over the back bumper of Blake Beacon. He's trying to get that outside lane moving. I'm sorry, that's the 60 Elite Campbell. I was right the first time. And they're trying to make something happen as that second place of Austin Sale. He's looking to come up in front of Roth, but not able to do anything with it. He's going to stay right there in second spot, and he's going to stay in front of Aaron Roth as that outside lane. They had to check up just a little bit, and that allowed the inside lane to start pulling away. Whoa, the one car way loose there in turns 1 and 2.
Looks like Blake Beacon having a hard time keeping his car kind of stable there, as he was getting really loose with the push from Lee Campbell, and that is going to allow for the inside lane to get a big run. So Curtis Ecker and that 8 machine going to take it to the outside. I think he's having a little bit of connectivity issues here, but unfortunately nobody went with him, so he is going to fall back here.
Yeah, that 28 machine is trying to stay there right behind those outside lane as Blake Beacon, he's going to go up and they're going to split. I believe that's Ryan. No, that's the Curtis Ecker. And he's going to get stuck on the middle of the lane, but he's now got help from that 98 of Andrew Teft. As they're going to go ahead and just make their way through the middle with no problems.
And that absolutely killed the momentum on the outside line there. And we are back single file racing. So someone's going to have to really group up and try to get that outside line working here.
Yeah, and as of right now, Kensley Smith is saying to himself that outside lane don't reform. Because right now, he's in really good spot here to bring home the championship here in the Full Send Superspeedway Series. As we have now 8 laps to go here at Daytona for the season finale.
And it kind of seems like we're having a little bit of issues with people deciding who's going to lead the line here on the outside. And at some point, we're just going to have to be like, oh, you know what? I'll push. And then once you get up there, make a move. But if you can't get it settled out, you're not going to get the momentum going.
Yeah, definitely. As that front four is starting to pull away just a tad. But that's going to allow 5th place to come back even stronger. And they had to check up on the inside lane just a little bit so that they didn't run over that 42 of Jonathan Stidham. Stidham having a really good run. I didn't even realize he was up here.
It does look like we're finally getting the outside line formed here towards the back of the pack. Trying to get a good view of who's leading that. I believe that is the 5 machine, Brandon Puffenberger. Looks like he's going to have help from Curtis Ecker, Andrew Teth. We're going to have the 51 of Blake Beacon, the 45 Ryan Warp out there as well. So starting to finally get enough cars up there to possibly make some momentum, but it's really looking like that outside lane is struggling still.
Yeah, that outside lane is definitely struggling, and that's not what Andrew Teff needs this late in the run. As we are coming around for 6 laps to go, 12 more corners here for the season before we begin our next season here, probably in just about 2, maybe 3 weeks. I'll have to double check on that, but I know for a fact we are off next week, possibly doing a fun race.
Is it possible Kensley Smith can win the championship and the race here? Because it's going to be rough. You know, being up there in that first spot, statistically speaking, is not the place you want to be coming to the last lap.
No, hold on to it. That 38 getting a big shove by that 5 machine. Jack Kelly with his hands full heading down into turn 3. And to answer your question, I don't care if I win this race. If I was Kensley Smith, I am going to be absolutely focused on keeping my position where I am. I don't mind dropping back to that 5th spot as long as Andrew Teft is behind me, as these guys are going 3 wide back here for about that 15th spot.
You know what, folks? It is 5 to go. It's time to tighten up your seatbelts and get ready for some high-flying, action-paced racing here as things are about to get aggressive.
Oh, hold on to it. Truth Hook is in the wall. Everybody's going to stack up. No, the caution will not come out.
Oh, 50 car absolutely destroyed Terry Fennell.
Oh, definitely very unfortunate for those drivers. Just a bad push gone wrong. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are still green flag here at Daytona. All right. 4 laps to go. We are getting ready to come 3 to go this time buy-in. Unfortunately, I think that number 98 machine of Andrew Teff's race for the championship is over. He is now sitting.
Hey, but it's not over until they cross the checkered flag here. As you see, Andrew Tate getting a huge run going around Blake Viken for that 11th spot right now.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we've got 3 laps to go, and they are 3 seconds back. So if by some miracle they can make up
Hey,
more than a second a lap,
coming to the last lap, you never know. All the leaders could wreck it. Andrew Tate flies by him to get the race win. We will have to see here. But as you said, 3 more laps to go, and going to be a very big challenge for him here.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, this back lane back here.
So let me try to get a look here.
So I saw smoke here on the front straightaway. We're not sure.
I
Oh,
think that's
Steve
the
Castle.
back straightaway.
Yeah, so I'm showing Steve Castle went off track on the back straightaway. So I promise, guys, you guys didn't miss anything because we didn't even see it ourselves. But we're going to go back, take a look, see what happened. Oh! What happened to Steve?
I'm looking at another incident here
Oh,
between
God.
Barry
Oh!
Nelson and Blake Viken as well.
Yeah, I'll go back to check that out, but
Steve Cassell, check that.
life is expensive. What in the world happened here? Yeah, let me go back here because I'm.
Steve Castle
Damn.
just turned to the pit wall, I guess. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Maybe lost control of his wheel.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened because at this point, he's not even able to slow down. All right. And then you also said some issues on the back straightaway.
Yeah, Barry Nelson and Blake Viken having a little bit of issues there. It looks like Blake Viken got to the inside of Barry Nelson. And they had a little bit of a heated battle going on between them two.
There they are. And let's. Yeah, so this was the group. I was just saying how they're not organized, and that's exactly what happened is just Viken did not give Nelson any room whatsoever to get back in line, and yeah, that will definitely bring out our caution.
I believe Nelson was on the outside. Blake Viken was on the inside there.
Yeah.
And just
Yep.
very, very aggressive racing coming to the closing laps of this race. But
we're in overtime. Green-White-Checkered, ladies and gentlemen.
and it looks like the caution and EOL is going to be on the 51 and the 28. Both of them getting a black flag here, potentially. And, you know, going into overtime, anything can happen. Aggression levels are high. People are getting a little angry. So I'm expecting to see a lot of action here in the closing laps.
Yeah, definitely. Keep track for us with race control if Blake Viken gets a penalty for causing this incident. Definitely keep us updated if you hear anything.
He got an EOL, sir. So did the 28 here of Barry Nelson.
Oh, they both did?
Yes.
Oh. Well then.
And it looks like everybody's going to be staying out here as they should be pretty good on fuel. Uh, Maybe people coming in to get some damage fixed, but looks like Kinsley Smith going to be leading us back to the green. Austin Dillon is outside in that 300 machine. They're going to have Aaron Roth in third place and Jonathan Stidham in fourth. And just a little update on Andrew Teft, who is contending for the championship here. He is ninth place, so we're going to have to overcome a little bit of adversity here, but anything can still happen here at Daytona International Speedway, as you know, super speedway racing sometimes leads to some big wrecks, and all it takes is one person to get through, and that could be Andrew Teth.
Yeah, definitely. I want to take a look here at Andrew Teft's teammates, Kirby Wainscott and Curtis Ecker. Curtis Ecker, he's 13th. Andrew is ninth, and Kirby Wainscott is 6th. So, Teft, he's got some teammates back there that could possibly help him get to the front here in 2 laps. I mean, I went from 7th all the way to 1st at Talladega this year. So, I mean, it is very possible that we could absolutely have this happen once again. So, coming back from the 9th spot, it's possible. So, we'll just have to wait to see what happens here in the closing laps.
Yeah, I do know one thing though. The Southside line is going to have to do a lot better job here on these final 3 laps at getting sorted and working together, as we've been having a little bit of issues with that here in the latter half of this race. But let's go check and see if the track temps went up any as well. 120 degrees, so it went up a few degrees, I think. But
Yeah, that's still definitely absolutely big for sure. Yeah, the air temperature is still 86 degrees from when we went green earlier today. So this is it. Who's gonna bring home the championship? Who's gonna bring home the win? Kinsley Smith and Austin Sale will bring the field to the green flag, hopefully for the final time here for the season. And the green flag is out. Kinsley Smith out with an incredible lead as they will cycle up through the gearbox. And they're quick to get single file lines down here. Heading up here.
Jonathan Stidham in the 40 gate, getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that outside lane still trying to make way. But so far, nothing's happening on that outside lane. But Andrew Teft, he's trying to make something happen with that 06 machine of Steve Vest, as they are now making their way up through the field. This is it, ladies and gentlemen.
Issue with the 06 is Steve Vest getting a push from Andrew Teth and getting really loose and up into the wall. I think that's going to affect the end of his race here.
Yeah, contact there behind. White flag is in the air for Kinsley Smith. He is looking to bring home the race win and the championship. He's got Aaron Roth right behind him in that number 57 machine. Aaron Roth, he is still looking for a win this season. This could mean the world to him. Austin Sale as well, looking for the race win. He's going to the outside, as he's now going to run side by side up here with the 15, as the 82 keeps getting into the back of that 300 machine sideways. Keep it straight. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen, out of turn number 4. Who is going to bring it home? Kinsley Smith, Austin Sale, wrecking behind them. Ladies and gentlemen,
Kinsley Smith.
Kinsley Smith will win your race, and I believe he will secure the championship here for the Full Send Super Speedway Series right here on the Racers Elite Network. What an incredible run by Kinsley Smith today to come up 10 spots for the race win. That 300 machine of Austin Sale absolutely dominating today as well. This is the finish he needed in that number 300 machine. Aaron Roth in that number 57 machine. I think this is probably his best finish that we have seen in quite a while. So big, huge congratulations to Aaron Roth. But an even bigger congratulations to Kinsley Smith, driver of that number 15 Coca-Cola Chevrolet, and your Full Send Super Speedway champion. Let's go ahead and burn it down here on the front straightaway, Kinsley. You absolutely deserve it.
So I did get a little update here. Steve Castle's wheel is just absolutely going nuts here. So he did post a video in the Discord.
Yeah, that's definitely not what we want to see. Um, I'm glad to see Steve Castle okay after those two hard contacts. First with the inside wall, then into the pit wall. As we continue to see Kensley Smith down here on down here on the racetrack, burning it down as your champion. Ladies and gentlemen, your full send super speedway champion, your race winner, Kensley Smith, led 15 laps today here at Daytona. And before we go and talk with our champion and our top three, we're going to go ahead and, as always, we're going to go take a look at your finishing or race results. Let's go ahead and pop that up on screen right here. But ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, Kensley Smith, for Driving Extreme Incorporated. Coming home second, Austin Sale in that number 2 machine. I'm sorry, in that number 300 machine. Aaron Roth in that number 57 machine will bring it home third. Fourth, you've got Kirby Wayne Scott. Andrew Teft coming home fifth. What an incredible 2 laps they're getting back from our 9th spot all the way up to 5th. Dana Ryan will bring it home 6th. Joshua Neal will bring it home 7th. Trevor Fetzig 9th. I'm sorry, 8th. Blake Viken 9th. Barry Nelson 10th. Steve Vest, Brandon Puffenbarger, Curtis Ecker, Jack Kelly, Jonathan Stidham, Lee Campbell, Ryan Warp, James Foster Sr., Steve Castle, Truth Hope will round out your top 20. 21st, Terry Fennell. 22nd, David Stoops. Michael Barksdale will bring it home 23rd. Richie Joplin, 24th. Kevin Haas will bring it home 25th. Aaron Rowland, 26th. Brett Bray, 27th. And Joe Bonner in that number 53 machine having some electrical issues. Trying to get things back up and running for him. Not able to do anything with it.
So points are in, by the way. Kensley Smith will 100% be your champion by 10 points here. 5 wins on the season. A heck of a job from him. And I'm looking at our interviews, and it looks like we only have 2 in the booth to interview here. That's going to be Austin Sale and Aaron Roth at the moment. I'll have to drag Kensley Smith up in a little bit when we're ready for him.
And your hard charger of the day will be Andrew Teft. Ryan Warp in that number 45 machine. He did lead the most lap with 20 laps. Your fastest lap is from your champion, Kensley Smith. And your pole sitter was Terry Fennell in that number 50 machine. We had 6 cautions for a total of 18 laps. We had 13 different leaders of the day. Actually, that's pretty incredible right there. And we did go for a total of 83 laps, totaling a distance of 205 miles. All around, what an incredible race that we got to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and make our results disappear. And let's go ahead and bring this up. All right, who do we got first?
Looks like we're going to be bringing our 3rd place finisher of Aaron Roth into the booth here. Aaron, it's Dakota and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, interesting race day. Seemed like the cars are pretty slick there. But first off, congratulations on your P3 finish. Walk us through a little bit of a race.
Well, we got in that big wreck at the beginning, and we had to, again, do our repairs so we wouldn't use the fast repair. And we didn't need it, so we were in the pits all day fixing stuff, and then we were able to climb back up front.
Yeah, I mean, the story of adversity there. And I mean, is there anything you think you could have done differently to potentially get the win?
Well, see, I was going to go up top the same time as the 300 Austin Sale did, and I had to change my mind in a split second, so I stayed behind Kinsley.
Fair enough. I mean, he did kind of come up here hot and heavy.
Yeah.
I did kind of see you start to make a move and you second guessed it. So honestly,
Yeah.
probably good heads up driving there
It's
you know,
probably a
you
good
avoided a
thing
wreck.
that I did, or that could have been a big wreck. So,
But I'm gonna let Mike take over question here. Mike, you got any questions for Aaron?
I don't, man. Just Aaron, just what an incredible run for you in that Sim Magic number 57 machine. Uh, very, very up and down season for you. You coming out here strong here at Daytona. What you got planned for next season? And are we going to see you again here Friday nights?
yeah, I'll be back Friday nights and we'll run the trucks again.
OBS does not like Racers Elite. All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but we are back. But yeah, so talking here with Aaron Roth, you just said that you will be returning for some action next
In the Super
season.
Speedway series.
Yeah, in the Super
Yeah,
Speedway
for
and the
trucks
trucks.
and Speedway. Yeah. We just got to get better at our pit stops, as you seen last Tuesday. So I got to learn how to, on some of the tracks, they come up pretty quick. So I got to practice a little more on
I
that.
will say Tuesday was kind of a challenging pit. I mean,
Yes,
to be fair.
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
fair,
So,
absolutely. But congratulations, Aaron, on your third place. And before we let you go, is there any shout outs that you would like to give?
just my chaos crew again. People watching, Andrew, you guys do a great job. And all these competitors in this series are great. I wouldn't want to race with anybody else. So they're everybody races good with each other.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again once again on your third place, Aaron, and we'll see you next season, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 57 Sim Magic Chevrolet, Aaron Roth. Let's go ahead and get Austin Sale, driver of that number 300 Low and Slow Barbecue Chevrolet, finishing second here at Daytona. Austin, what an incredible run for you here, coming up 13 spots. And man, I finally get to talk to you here on Friday night.
Yeah, man, it was definitely a great run. We got caught up in a couple wrecks. I think I might have made a few enemies with the 82 cutting off his nose. I apologize to him. Definitely a fun race. Kind of felt like the 500, but hey, it was definitely a fun race and would love to have won the race, but I'm glad I could get Kensley up there. Congratulations to him on winning the championship, and definitely can't wait for next season.
Yeah, definitely. I know that you came in at the latter half of the season, and every week you come in swinging. You're fast, wicked fast, I might add. And let me tell you what, though, man, you finally were able to pull it off here at Daytona. And what is your plans for next season in that number 300 machine? Are you going to continue to run Friday nights, and will you be joining us in the other series?
I don't know about the other series. I believe you guys run Tuesday nights, and I got the Coca-Cola series qualifying coming up, so I probably won't be able to run there, but definitely will be here Friday nights. Most likely back in the Low and Slow Barbecue Chevrolet. Definitely a shout out to them. Thank you guys so much for what you do for me, supporting me week in and week out. Um, but yeah, no, I'll definitely be here Friday nights. You guys put on a great show. You guys in the booth, Andrew Teft, running a great series. So yeah, absolutely. I definitely wouldn't miss it for the world.
Absolutely, Dakota. Before we send it his way to give out his thanks, do you have any questions for your runner-up?
No, sir. I mean, he pretty much covered everything without really asking any questions there.
Sure.
I mean, is there anyone else you want to shout out there, sir?
Definitely my buddy, my spotter Daytona. I appreciate you week in week out. You get me through stuff. Again, Low and Slow, Tony and Bobby Moose. Thank you guys for supporting me and being right there behind me. Hope I made you proud. and you guys here in the booth and Racers Elite. You guys put on a great show, so thank you very much.
Well, I do got one more question out that you said that. How good is Low and Slow?
Oh, dude, I'm from the South. I've had some great barbecue. They know what they're doing.
Well,
They
where
It's
is this
amazing.
located?
It is Nashville, Tennessee. They have a Facebook page and everything. Check them out. They do caterings, they do parties. Definitely, I'm pretty sure they're doing something for the Super Bowl. So check them out. And yeah, they're a great group of people, and I can't thank them enough for supporting me through this.
Wait, I believe they're
Heard it
actually.
here, folks.
I believe they're actually down in downtown, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
I
next
bel
time I go to Nashville, I'm gonna have to check them out.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we won't keep you any longer, Austin. Congratulations on your second place finish, and we'll see you next season, buddy.
Thank you, sir. You guys take care.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, your second place driver in that low and slow barbecue, number 300 Chevrolet, Austin Sale. And now let's get with the man of the hour, driver of that number 15 Coca-Cola Cherry Float Chevrolet, Kensley Smith.
Yeah.
Kensley, man, what an incredible race. Congratulations. And before I speak anymore, Dakota, take it away with your chant.
Kinsley Smith, winning the championship, winning the race. Not to mention, you have 5 wins on the season and an 11 race season. How do you feel?
Exhausted, sweaty. Um, it was a tough race. Got into an incident at the beginning, and I thought it was done. I thought I was in for a long one there. Just kind of able to bide my time. Um, just keep my nose clean more towards the end. I think I was in a little bit of another one. Just had some front end damage and was able to get that fixed. So, um, just feeling relieved at this point.
That is good to hear, but there towards the end, it looked like there was a little moment where someone got loose on your outside, I believe, and I really thought y'all were going to wreck there. If you remember what I'm talking about here, can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, I saw him out of the right side. Saw him wiggling a little bit, and I think it was Austin, number 300, was wiggling a little bit. And I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just gonna hug this yellow line, and whatever happens, happens. If he comes down and gets me, then I mean that was what was supposed to happen. If he goes up and collects a bunch of cars, then cool, I'm free sailing. So really, just my thought process was just hug the yellow line and try to stay as as clean of a line as possible for Aaron Roth to give me the best push he could.
Fair enough. And before I hand it over the mic again, congratulations on your race win and your championship. Very well earned. I mean, 5 race wins out of an 11 race season. That's a heck of a job there. But Mike, you got any questions for Kinsley here?
Yeah, Kensley, you pretty much hit it off. Congratulations on your race win and your championship for the Friday night Full Send Super Speedway Series. Um, just just like Dakota said, 5 out of 11 races. Uh, that's almost half the season, and these guys are really going to have to step it up next season if they want to beat you. So, congratulations on all that. And before we send you off today, Kensley, is there anybody that you would like to thank?
Of course, you guys in the booth, being here all season long, and phenomenal job by you guys. Love rewatching the races. My family loves rewatching the races. So, thank you guys. Of course, Andrew for putting on the whole league. Without him, none of this is possible at all. He he goes 100% in this league, and there's no slacking from him. There's no day off for him when it comes to these leagues, and thank you to him. And if anybody's looking for a league to join, there should be a link in the description. Come hop in, jump in one of the series. We have races almost every night of the week. It's a fun time. Of course, my family as well. Absolutely would not be even close to winning a championship or even doing these races if they didn't allow me to take time from them. So thank you to my wife and my daughter.
Yeah, definitely. And, big shout out to all of our spouses and partners and whoever you may have sitting next to you, allowing us to do what we love to do every single night. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do all this. So thank you, everybody there. But Kensley, congratulations on your championship once again. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next season, buddy.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 15 Coca-Cola Cherry Float Chevrolet, your race winner and your champion, Kensley Smith. Well, Dakota, another season comes to an end right here on Racers Elite Network. All I can say is what a season, not only here on the Friday night, but man, on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, all around, just what incredible racing. All the championships came down to the final race. And let me tell you what, that is how good all these drivers here in Racer Elite drivers are. But Dakota, before we head out today, buddy, what's your final thoughts on the season, on the whole entire season? And, are you ready to kick it off all again next season?
Yeah, I got a couple thoughts here. I mean, overall, we picked Kensley Smith very early into the season to be a dominant car, and that did show there. But Andrew Teth gave it a really good, close battle there, as it was a 10-point deficit. With Andrew Teth finishing about 4 spots behind Kensley Smith today. So that was with Kensley Smith gaining, might I add. But overall, I mean, all these series have been absolutely phenomenal, and we're going to be kicking it off again, I believe, in 2 weeks. But don't miss out on some races we got going on next week as well. We're going to have a couple lives throughout, I believe, Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly Thursday. And I look forward to being part of the broadcast team next season. It's a good group of guys here. Everyone slightly different. And we all come in here and merge together and do a wonderful job. And appreciate this league for having us here. I also want to shout out this league for having some of the most phenomenal clean racing I have seen in most leagues. You get a couple races here and there where we have a few more cautions than we typically do, but overall, still a clean league. And Andrew Tiff does a hell of a job running.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm going to finish off all that, and I would just want to spend out a very special thank you to Whiplash Sim Cams for, all these amazing, beautiful views that you get to see all season long right here on Racers Elite Network. And we would also like to send a big thank you out to ATVO and SDK Gaming. We all use one of those two overlay systems to provide you the beautiful overlays that you guys get to experience all season long. So if it wasn't for you guys, our views and overlays and everything would not look absolutely amazing. Andrew Teff, thank you so much for allowing us to come up here into the booth and do what we do. And thank you to all the fans out there, and especially thank you for all the racers that show up every single day to race here on Racers Elite Network. We want to thank you guys so much for putting on an amazing show and getting this audience to come back every single week. And again, last time, guys, I want to thank our fans again. Thank you guys for showing up, shouting out your favorite drivers, rooting them on, call us out, and calling them out. And we can't wait to do it all over again in a couple of weeks. Dakota, you get to make your broadcast producing debut next week. So you guys definitely tune in for that one. I'm hoping to be on track for that. So we look forward to seeing everybody next week. And, of course.
I wouldn't say debut. I've done it before, but this would be my debut for the Racers Elite, sir.
Yes. Racer Elite debut. I'll be on track, hopefully. And we get to have a good time, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys head over to racerelite.com and go and enjoy all of our races that are over there. See what's up and coming and see what you got to do. But you could always just hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to get all the notifications when we go live. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and just close this out. I'm Mike Taylor up here in the booth. Dakota LaRue, my Chaos Master and sidekick, Dakota. Well, thank you so much for joining me this season, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. And we are closing out from Daytona National Speedway. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you do in life, have fun doing it. If it's not fun, go make it fun. Until next time, you guys have yourself a absolute beautiful time zone.